But one of the things that he remembered that my uncle had said to him when he was coaching him is that the great players make everybody around them great as well. So they essentially bring the level up. Welcome to the Shaw Strength Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Shaw, and today we have a shorter episode for you. I'm just going to talk to you guys about some stuff that's been on my mind, and hopefully you can take something from this and apply it to your life and make yourself better. And that's honestly what I have done with some of the stuff I've had to go through this summer. So the reason that I have this kind of in my head and on my heart, so to speak, is I had to go to my uncle's funeral service this week. And this is the second uncle that I have lost this summer. I also lost my aunt. And the reason that I'm bringing it up is, death definitely is part of life. It's inevitable. It's coming for all of us. There's not one single human being that's going to be able to avoid that final destination, if you will. But thinking about it and thinking about, the impact that we can have during our lifetime while we are still alive, and, the impact that we have on other people is a lot of times how we inevitably will be remembered. And if you're able to have a positive impact on other people, they might in turn then pass that on to other people. And it's kind of like a wildfire that can spread. So, talking about, my uncles, for example, I was just kind of thinking, okay, what is the impact that they were able to leave? So on my mom's side, my uncle there was a basketball coach for over 40 years to eighth graders and high school freshmen. And during that time, during those years and years and years of being a basketball coach, he was able to, have an impact on so many young men and their lives, and, the way that they, kind of thought and the way that they attacked their own life. Now, certainly he was also a character, so he was very funny, would tell a lot of jokes. But the reason that this kind of popped into my head was about a week and a half ago, we had some leftover protein from Undefined Nutrition because we changed over our packaging and did a change in the flavor and that type of thing. So basically we had some protein left over that was not being used, and we couldn't necessarily sell it anymore because we had the new product in. So I said, instead of throwing that away, I want to donate it to a couple local police departments, a couple local fire departments, and just see if, some of these first responders could use it and it could benefit them. And so we just contacted a couple local, like I said, police departments and fire departments, and I threw it into my truck and just headed over there, and said, hey, here I am, basically. We coordinated the drop off for sure, so I wasn't just showing up, but it was really, really cool. And it was really cool talking to all of those individuals and being able to spend that time and try to certainly give something back. But as part of that, when I went to the police station in my hometown where I grew up, which is Fort Lupton, Colorado, one of the police officers, after I had done that and kind of took some pictures and done that kind of thing, he walked over to me and he, said sorry for the loss of my uncle. And he was actually coached by my uncle as well. And, I was kind of like, it just kind of came out of left field for me. But one of the things that he remembered that my uncle had said to him when he was coaching him is that the great players make everybody around them great as well. So they essentially bring the level up of the team. And, even if they're maybe the best player on the team, they're going to make every other player on that team better through some action in the game or through, the way maybe that they approach things mentally, that type of thing. And it was really, really cool that he walked over and said that to me. And it was just a reminder. And I've been reminded of this so much, with my uncle and his coaching and the impact that he had, because, this police officer was now older, right? He, is probably still in his 20s, but, it was just really cool to hear that. And he said that kind of statement that my uncle had told him stuck with him, and, that he was, thinking about that in his daily life. And it kind of got me thinking too about the impact, right? The impact that I'm trying to leave on people. And it's something that's been, at the forefront of my mind for a really, really long time. And every interaction that I've tried to have, throughout my life, right? And that's from anybody. I've talked to people that are, quite literally billionaires, all the way down to people that quite literally only have the shirt on their back, and that's all the belongings that they have. And I've always tried to treat everybody that I've interacted with the exact same way. But, going back to what this police officer told me, it's so true that the way that you live your life and the impact that you have on others, and if you're going to be a great athlete, if you're going to be a great person, if you're part of a team, you're going to make everybody around you better. And so, yes, for a lot of it comes down to athletics and being on a team in that setting. But if you carry that over to life, when you think about your life, inevitably you're going to be part of a team with work, or you're going to be in some role where you're going to have to interact with other human beings. And the way that you carry yourself, the way you conduct yourself, the way that you interact with them, you're either going to bring them up and you're going to be a great part of that team and a great individual, and everybody's going to walk away from that and say, wow, I loved interacting with this person. And I really remember how positive of an experience that was. Or you're going to be the type of individual where people are going to walk away from that and say, man, I really had to carry that person. They were really dragging me down, whether it was their attitude or work ethic or whatever. And I think we all should think about, ultimately, when we're gone, what is our legacy going to be, and what impact in your life are you going to leave on other people? So kind of spinning off of that as well, it got me thinking about time, right? So how much time do we have left? Because, both of my uncles and my aunt were not, at least what I would consider, old, right? They were not very old. They were all, 70, around 70, a little bit over that. I think my aunt was a couple years under that, but it's not that old, right? And if you think about the time that we have, we don't know how long we have, right? We don't know if tomorrow is the last day that we're going to be alive. And it got me thinking about how much time we potentially waste as well. So I started looking in the mirror and I'm thinking about, okay, what time do I waste on a daily basis that I could potentially not waste? And, if you have, this phone, and all of us now have a phone. I didn't grow up with having a cell phone or anything like that. And I'm very thankful for that, because, it forced me to do things a lot of different. Now, the phone and internet and all of that is certainly a great tool and a very useful tool. And in all fairness, it's allowing me to do this podcast and connect with all of you as well. But it's a tool that we can use, but it also can be somewhat of a crutch on a daily basis if you're not controlling the time, that you spend on your phone. And it's kind of funny from there. I thought, what do my boys think this phone is all about? Now, of course, they know, okay, it's a screen, it lights up, you do different things. And, potentially I do work on there and look at, videos or pictures that can do that. They understand that capability. But, as they grow up, am I on my phone and spending time that I don't need to be spending on my phone, when I could potentially be spending more time with them or interacting with them, teaching them, doing something with them, because their time when they're younger is limited, and they're every day they get older, every day they're growing up. And I don't want to look back at the time I could have spent with them, or the time that I potentially could have put toward other projects, making myself better, doing other things where I potentially am wasting time as well. So thinking about all this, you kind of start to peel back the layers of the onion, so to speak, and think about, okay, if we don't know how much time we have, and we think about the impact we're going to make potentially, and what we're trying to do on a daily basis to make ourselves better, and how that's going to affect people around us, whether that be, again, teammates, coworkers, our, significant other, our kids, all of that type of stuff. And then what time are we potentially wasting on a daily basis where, when your time is up, right? And in your final moments, if you're able to kind of take a look back and say, wow, I wish I would have done more of this. I wish I would have done more of that. What are you going to say, right? And how is that question going to be answered for you? And I know for myself, it's kind of a somber reminder that unfortunately at times, I don't want to say take it for granted. I try to never take any day for granted. And I always try to get better. As you guys know, try to attack the day and with the be great mentality and push myself. But that doesn't mean that even for myself, that there isn't some time that's wasted that I wish I could get back. And when I started thinking about this in terms of, these family members that I've lost this summer, I started thinking about what's important and how I could potentially modify my days to be more productive, to get more out of my time and to waste less time. And, I don't want my boys to grow up and think, man, I wish dad, would have put that phone down or not spent that much time on his phone. Not that I feel like I do that excessively, but it's just a reminder, because they don't understand necessarily what's on the phone or what I'm looking at or what I'm dealing with or that type of stuff. So it's again, as I've talked about before, trying to be present in the moment and be present in your life on a daily basis and not waste time. And if you have a goal and if you have something you want to go after, something that you want to achieve, don't think, hey, next week I could start that, or next month I could start that, or you know what? The year is starting to kind of wind down, or, the holidays are all going to be here before we know it. I'll wait till New Year's, right? I'm going to set a big New Year's resolution, and I'm really going to attack things starting on January 1st. That time may not be available to you. It may not be there. And the way to think about it is, why not wake up tomorrow or right now when you're listening to this and just say, hey, I'm going to start. I'm going to put some time in today to get better, to go after what I want to, and to try to leave the impact that I want to leave on other individuals. I'm going to start with that right now, because you can do something today that will leave an impact on other people, right? When you go in a bathroom and there's paper towels there and you're using the restroom, you wash your hands. The other day I did this, and my son, I remember, I didn't really think about it because it's just something I've done my whole life. It's the small things and the small moments that other people don't see that leave an impact. But my son, we were using the restroom together, and I washed my hands. He washed his hands. He threw away his paper towel, and I threw away my paper towel, and I made it into the trash can. But there was 2 or 3 other paper towels that did not make it into the trash can. And I reached down and I picked them up and I put them in the trash can. And he said, Dad, did you miss the trash can? And I said, well, no, I didn't miss, but I'm picking up these other people's paper towels and putting them into the trash can because I just want to do something good and help out the employee that may be overworked or whatever with that place that we were at. And they may not have time, right? They may not do that. And it wasn't their fault that the paper towels got on the floor. So it's just something like that. It's like putting your shopping cart away when you're in a parking lot and it's a walk across and it's maybe inconvenient, but it's doing the right thing at the right moment. And I hope that for my son, sons, I should say, they were both in there, that they're going to remember that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I'm going to continually do things like that to spread that message to them that you can do good things on a daily basis. And again, having that type of impact will carry on, right? It's doing the small things in the small moment that, a lot of people would walk by those paper towels and say, hey, I didn't do it. It wasn't my fault, right? And it's something that you don't have to do, right? You don't have to do that. I mean, there's no rule that says you need to pick those up or put them away or help out or whatever. But, it's just being a good person and trying to leave that impact. So I do things like that all the time with my boys that I hope will have an impact on them and in turn help them to be a good person, as they grow up and as they get older and whether anybody knows that type of stuff, it doesn't matter. Right. And, I didn't post about, yes, I'm talking about donating the protein to these first responders. I didn't post about that on my phone and I'm not certainly sharing that type of story to say, hey, look at how great of a person I am or whatever. It just that story from that police officer about my uncle and, this impact that he was able to have. And I know that my other uncle as well. I mean, I'm thinking back as I'm going through and processing everything, I think about the impact that they had on me, the stories and things that they shared with me, the moments that I had with them. And again, it's not about material things. It's not about, wealth or anything else, but, these memories and these moments that both of them shared with me is that's what I take away. Right. And I think that having that impact on other human beings out there is part of your legacy. It's part of the impact that you have. And it's as simple as walking down the street and, smiling, saying hi to somebody, that type of thing. It can have a much broader effect, I think, than a lot of people think. Right. And it all starts with you, and it starts with you going after your goals and making yourself better on a daily basis and not wasting any of your time while you are still here and while you have that ability to go out and better yourself and in turn make the world a better place and make yourself a better individual, right? So I just wanted to share that with you guys and hopefully that has an impact because like I said, it's sometimes a very somber reminder when somebody around you dies and you can't have any more conversations with them and you can't talk to them anymore. And, it's tough. It can be tough, but on the backside, I think that it's important to remember, these people and think about, what they were able to share with you and the memories that you have. And then also, like I said, the impact that they were able to make and what they were able to give in turn to other people. And I think that that's, hopefully in my mind, a lot of the things that I try to do with my life is to share with other people, to inspire other people and to try to give back to all of the people that follow me and try to help them improve in different ways. So hopefully this message can help some of you to improve, to think about, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to save 5 minutes today and do something different for myself to improve myself instead of, potentially wasting that 5 or 10 minutes, because if you think about that over the course of a week, a month, a year, if you're able to save that on a daily basis, it would add up to be a lot. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing amazing. If you got something out of this, please share the podcast. It means honestly more than you guys know and really helps with the following and the reach and getting these messages out to other people. So definitely appreciate that. Love all of you. Hope you're doing amazing. For now, go out and be great, and we'll check you guys later.